this doesn't ever happen to anybody again. Nobody else deserves to die like that.
Today on the Morning Edition, breaking their silence, the family of an Anchorage woman who died from hypothermia exclusively details their wrongful death lawsuit over the 911 call and shares a toxicology report that Alaska's news source investigates. Plus, looking ahead to Memorial Day weekend, from gas to airfare, your summer getaway will likely cost more than last year, but one travel expert says some popular spots are actually getting cheaper. And later, a break from all this gray in Alaska. Take a look at this sea of color. An apple farm in Minnesota opened up for its first ever tulip festival, and it got so popular the owner had to tell people to stay away. Why thousands are lining up as the Morning Edition starts now. Good Thursday morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us today. Yeah, it was nice to see all that color right there. Really looking forward to some green up here. Feels like, is it a little bit delayed or does it usually take?
It is delayed. We are behind schedule by about a week or so. And you know, it's actually looking like Fairbanks might even beat Anchorage. But in Juneau, look at that vibrant green color. It's looking so green in Southeast, but not quite the case into South Central. However, today you can expect some sunnier skies with temperatures sitting in the low 50s. That means that that's really going to help when it comes to that green up. So hopefully spring is actually going to act like it's spring. Into the interior, you can expect mostly cloudy to partly sunny skies, very similar to what you're seeing on the screen right there. But in Southeast and even for coastal areas across South Central, wet weather is still underway this morning. Right now, temperatures across Anchorage sitting in the low 40s, even reaching into the low 30s into some areas like Anchorage Hillside, just a little bit cooler out into these higher elevation areas. But high temperatures today are going to trend just a little bit warmer, reaching just a little closer to that normal temperature, still far off, 20 degrees cooler than what that record high temperature is. So it would be quite the jump going from low 50s up into the 70s. So I don't know if we're quite ready for that yet. But as we look ahead, expect sunnier skies across South Central today. Areas like Homer and even into Seward can expect some of those showers to continue throughout the day. Even areas like Cordova and Valdez may see some of those lighter showers into the afternoon. But otherwise, Anchorage seeing those partly cloudy to partly sunny skies. May see some of those light showers into the overnight hours reaching into Friday. And then by Friday, very similar conditions except partly sunny skies are expected. Even more of those sunnier skies expected. Across the region today, expect, again, partly sunny skies for areas like the Cook Inlet. Much sunnier for areas on the western side of the Kenai Peninsula. And just a little bit more of those scattered showers expected for areas on the eastern side of the Kenai Peninsula. Even some of those lighter showers expected into areas just a little bit north in South Central.
For the first time, the family of the 31-year-old Anchorage woman who died from hypothermia in February 2024 is speaking out about the wrongful death lawsuit they filed against the Municipality of Anchorage more than 3 months ago. As Alaska's news source investigates, first reported in March, records we obtained show hours after 2 911 calls were made on her behalf, the medical examiner ruled Alecia Lindsay's eventual cause of death was hypothermia due to exposure to cold temperatures. Call logs show no ambulance was dispatched for more than an hour after the first call. The family's attorney telling our investigative team there's a complicated family history. He says the focus should be on a delay in dispatching medical help. The family argues that cost Lindsay her life.
Is there a backstory? Yes. Should it override the situation and position that she had that morning? I don't think so. So once that call was made, there should have been more intervention than what occurred.
Somebody's not doing their job. Nobody else deserves to die like that.
That was Alecia Lindsay's father. Head to our website or app to learn more about what he told our investigative team's Johnson Kuhn. We should also note the city denies the family's claims, saying state law shields dispatchers for judgment calls. The Anchorage Police Department says its death investigation remains open. Happening this morning, closing arguments are set to begin in the double murder trial of Mario Jackson. He's charged in the October 2025 shooting deaths of 2 people near the American Red Cross building in downtown Anchorage. In court Wednesday, prosecutors and the defense cross-examined the final witness. Jurors have heard testimony this week about surveillance video, an electric bike, and other evidence investigators say connects Jackson to the shooting. Jackson has been indicted on 2 counts of of first-degree murder and 4 counts of second-degree murder. Wasilla police say a driver slammed a vehicle through the front doors of their department lobby just before 5 o'clock last night. Officers and state troopers were already there on another call and pulled the driver from the vehicle, then took him into custody. Medics say he had only minor injuries. One person was inside the lobby but was not hurt. Police evacuated the building and nearby high school ball fields as a precaution and brought in the Anchorage bomb squad and FBI technicians who later cleared the vehicle and found no further threat. The driver is identified as 41-year-old Thomas DeSalvo of Wasilla, facing multiple counts, including terroristic threatening, criminal mischief, assault, and reckless endangerment. Investigators say more charges are possible. The suspect in a crash that sent a truck into an Anchorage restaurant has been arrested. APD says Robert Miller was taken into custody on an unrelated felony warrant not directly connected to the April 20th, 2025 crash at Pelmeni. Police say their investigation identified Miller as the driver of a truck that hit the building near 5th Avenue and K Street. An employee suffered non-life-threatening injuries. The damage was estimated at more than $100,000. Miller is expected in court for an arraignment today. Campbell-Stem Elementary is back on the chopping block after a judge lifted the order that was keeping the school open. Joe Allgood shares how parents who thought they'd won are now fighting all over again.
Campbell-Stem Elementary is at a crossroads after a temporary injunction, the function of which was to stop the closure of the school, has been lifted. Now the community is hoping that next week isn't the last day of school.
The lifting of the injunction, I mean, of course, it's disappointing, but as far as I understand, it's just legal maneuvering. The school district is going to make their motions and, hopefully we'll get our chance to have a rebuttal to that.
Molly Roche has 2 children at Campbell-Stem and was hoping to send her third. But in February, the school was vaulted to the top of a list of schools for closure, when previously they weren't.
We were not at the top. We were not close to the top. And so it really did come out of left field. I wasn't even paying attention to the school closures. My friend texted me and she said, "I'm so sorry." And I was, about what?
Roche and other parents were given a brief period for public comment.
We get to say our 2 minutes, but one of the crux of the issue is there has been no meaningful community engagement. And so this lawsuit, if nothing else, has provided a chance for us to try and hold the district accountable, to provide some answers to us.
The school board voted to close Campbell, and the district said they'd move the STEM program to Klatt Elementary, giving Roche and the others the chance to tour what might be their new school.
There was just this air of sadness with all of the families that were there, and my kiddo just, he's like close to tears the whole time looking at these new spaces, and you can see them just feeling like overwhelmed.
Several administration and school board members said they would be taking a different approach to school closures in the future. But
being an object lesson is kind of a hollow victory. You want accountability. It's hard when it's at your expense.
the next step in this lawsuit is a telephonic hearing on Thursday. Joe Allgood, Alaska's news source.
We contacted the Anchorage School District for comment, but have not yet heard back. A log cabin along Fairbanks' downtown riverfront will stay empty for now. The city council rejected Mayor Mindy O'Neill's proposed lease to turn the former Yukon Quest gift shop into a cafe. The cabin became available after the dog mushing race moved its gift shop a few blocks away. Some council members said the lease process was not transparent enough and wanted more information. The city will now seek proposals, delaying a final decision by at least a couple months. O'Neill says she still hopes the space will be filled by the end of summer. Planning a Memorial Day escape? Higher gas prices and rising airfare could hit your wallet unless you know where to look. Jace Bertrand shares why flying to one beach destination may be a better deal than a quick hop to the Northwest.
The unofficial start to summer kicks off on Memorial Day. Whether you're taking a weekend trip to the beach or flying to the lower 48, you can expect costs to be higher than this time last year. But if you're open to it, some popular spots may be worth trying something different.
Right now, we're seeing some really, some pretty good airfares to the Midwest and the East Coast. It's actually cheaper to fly to Miami now than it is to go to Seattle or Portland. In terms of summertime travel, outside of Alaska, I think that it's safe to say that fares are going up.
Travel expert Scott McMurrin analyzes and compares the cost of flights to determine whether trends are pointing up or down. When it comes to recent rising travel costs, including gasoline, he points to the Iran war and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz.
Probably the big jump that people would see would be gas prices. And that's as a result of the sharp increase in what airlines pay for jet fuel.
The recent shutdown of Spirit Airlines has left some travelers concerned about the availability of affordable flights. But McMurrin says that doesn't really affect some places like Seattle, LA, or Chicago because Spirit did not previously fly there. He says overall, less flights could actually help the average traveler.
And the reason for that is because Delta Airlines and Alaska Airlines they've been in a war for more than 7 years. And I get down on my knees and pray that war will continue because it keeps fares lower for travelers like you and me.
To help save in other places, McMurrin says travelers should be set on a flight time before booking to avoid last-minute changes and potential price jumps. He also suggests travelers' insurance to cover any unexpected charges. Jace Bertrand, Alaska's news source.
Coming up in the morning edition, Alaska families are feeling the pain at the pump. Gas jumping more than $1.60 a gallon over last year. We'll share the simple but tough cutbacks Alaskans are making just to keep their tanks and household budgets from running dry.
Sunnier skies are in store for many parts of South Central, with temperatures struggling to stay at or above average. I'll have more details after this.
Well, welcome back in on this Thursday morning. Look, some of the clouds have gone and we were enjoying some of the peaks of sunshine yesterday, Bailey, and with it some warmth. That was really nice.
Oh, it was so nice. I feel like we're long overdue for conditions like that, but good news, you can expect some of these conditions to continue throughout the day today. Temperatures currently sitting in the low 40s across most of South Central, sitting in the mid 40s for most of Southeast, and even dipping back down into areas down into the 30s for areas out into the west, 30 degrees into areas like Gamble. But for Anchorage, we're actually looking ahead to these warmer temperatures, and it has been so long since we've felt these kind of warm temperatures. Yesterday, we hit 56 degrees, and that hasn't happened since October 8th, so we are long overdue, and that was also marking its 6th latest 56-degree mark on record. Now, as we look ahead for the next couple of days, you notice we're trending slightly below normal average temperatures for this time of year, around 55 degrees. So we're not that much below normal, at least we're still in the 50s, but we are going to continue that trend throughout the day today, with high temperatures in Anchorage reaching up to 53 degrees and near 60 degrees into Fairbanks. Some parts of town will see that 60-degree mark, but overall at the airport, we are expecting that temperature at 59 degrees. Now, as we look ahead, it's important to be aware of our flood watches across the state, especially as breakup season is in full swing. We've got a few areas on the map, including Fort Yukon, areas like Bethel and McGrath, where we are monitoring this flood watch. Now, one specific area of concern is Stevens Village. You can see that highlighted right here on the map, that tiny little green dot within the bigger green dot, but this is going to stay in effect through tonight and even into tomorrow morning. Now, for areas like Stevens Village, we're already monitoring this water staying over about 5 feet. Water levels actually rose about 5 feet since yesterday, and that means even more is likely due today. The ice jam possibility is very high, and this will continue into tomorrow morning. But again, that is along the Yukon River at Stevens Village. So stay aware of ice and river conditions in your area, especially if you live near any waterways or especially for low-lying areas. Now, as we look ahead in our forecast today, areas like Southeast can expect a little bit more of these showers to continue throughout the day. Very light rain is expected mostly in the morning hours, but those isolated showers will continue into the afternoon. For the interior, mostly cloudy skies expected, but for Anchorage and for South Central, we're starting to clear up just a little bit more. We'll see some of that sunshine throughout the day in Anchorage and into the Mat-Su Valley, but showers are still expected for areas like Seward and just the eastern coastline of the Kenai Peninsula. Valdez and Cordova do have a chance of seeing some of those lighter showers, mostly for the afternoon. But one thing we're paying attention to is this storm along the Aleutians. That means we're We're going to see an increase in these wind speeds along the Aleutian chain, as well as some of that rain beginning to move in. And this is some heavy rain, so be ready for that if you live across the Aleutian chain. For today, across the entire southeast region, mostly cloudy skies, some of that light rain expected with temperatures sitting in the 50s, even reaching 60 in Skagway. Meanwhile, into the interior, mostly cloudy skies, some of those scattered showers expected for areas like Tok with highs near 60 degrees. And into south central, we are seeing a little bit more of that sunny sky rolling on through with some of those coastal areas with a little bit more of that wet weather. Mostly cloudy with some lighter showers for the Copper River Basin. Very similar conditions expected into the Mat-Su Valley with winds up to about 30, gusting about 30 miles per hour. And for Anchorage, high temperatures near 53 degrees today.
Driving less, skipping trips, cutting back on dining out, with gas prices in Alaska now topping over $5.20 a gallon. Georgina Fernandez shares how everyday drivers are changing their lives to afford filling up.
Compared to this time last year, gas prices in Alaska have gone up around $1.66 per gallon, according to AAA. So we're asking Alaskans, what changes have they made due to the high cost of gas? It's a simple question that more and more families are having to face.
So it's just a struggle trying to keep the tanks filled.
As gas prices climb well above the national average, AAA shows Alaskans paying about $5.26 a gallon as of Wednesday. So we asked, and due to the high cost of gas, have you had to make any changes in your life?
I drive a lot less now, and because it is a little expensive to fill up.
I think for our family, we're just a lot more mindful about trying to combine trips, trying to avoid unnecessary trips.
I'm just driving less distance and try to consolidate my trips.
I'm on a limited income, so it's just a struggle day to day, just trying to be able to fill the tank up.
And it means that I have less money for other things like going out to local businesses, going out to eat, buying things locally, supporting the local economy.
And right now, we're 35 cents away from hitting our all-time high average for gas prices here in the state at $5.61 per gallon that we saw in June of 2022. Georgina Fernandez, Alaska's news source.
Calling all singers in Alaska as part of our We the People celebration. We're inviting you to be a part of the Star Spangled Sing-Off. One lucky winner will get an all-expenses-paid trip to Nashville to film a performance. To enter, submit a solo a cappella performance of a complete version of the national anthem. You must be 18 or older. Residents in Fairbanks and the interior should enter on the KTVF site. Other Alaska residents should enter on the KTUU site. You have to upload your video by May 31st, 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time. You can find all of the rules on our website in the upper banner. Voting for your favorite entry starts in June. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Click subscribe so you can get the latest podcasts from Alaska's news source automatically. And stay up to date with breaking news and in-depth reporting. Available for free 24/7 with the Alaska's news source app.